Hello everyone. Today we're going to make a reaction to Geography Now Poland. As you're wondering, I do speak Polish and a lot of my audience comes from Poland. So originally conscription, I'll start the video and
Alright, we've reached
Alright
Poland.
then.
Europe's how can I put this? Poland knows how to take
I know dark past of history of Poland. Like our videos, it's an educational, not hate speech. Let's learn about Poland.
By the way, this is my buddy Art. He's
Alright then.
Polish. Art, do you know anything about Poland?
Okay then.
About Poland, but I know my last name
I'm sorry if my voice is loud. I'm very
So
tired.
Anyway, I have another Polish friend named Conrad who's actually also going to be in this episode. He's Polish and he speaks Polish.
Alright then.
Well, Art, you can also play Poland in the skits and stuff in this episode. Is that cool?
Alright then.
Alright, cool. Anyway, hey everybody,
Alright
I'm
then.
Barbs. Welcome to the Wolverine of Europe.
Alright
Poland's
then,
gonna deal
let's.
with calamity, and if there was ever a mutant apocalypse, you would probably want
Alright
your
then.
team. In any case, let's begin.
Alright then, let's learn about
How to piss
political.
off a Polish person 101. Oh man, I just visited Poland. I sure love that Eastern European country.
Poland. I know Polish is the
Yeah,
same.
they don't like being called Eastern Europe. Even though, I mean, come on, they're kind of more on the eastern side of the continent. And it's okay, Central European, Central. The country is located in Central Europe and bordered by 7 other countries.
Alright
Keep in
then.
mind, this little guy right here is a detached exclave of Russia called
Alright.
Kaliningrad.
Kaliningrad is between Poland and Lithuania.
But Poland shares an island.
Alright,
called
but I have
Uzedom,
now reacted
Uzedom,
to
with
Germany.
in this lagoon. The borders follow some natural boundaries like rivers and mountains. However, most of them were agreed upon after war times. The country is divided into 16 voivodeships or provinces. The capital and largest city of the country, Warsaw. In the center, it also holds the busiest airport, Warsaw International. From there, the second largest city is Krakow, known as the medieval capital down
It used
south.
to be
It
the
holds
capital.
the second largest airport, John Paul II Krakow International. And rounding out for third place is the city of Łódź, which means boat, nearly in the center of the whole country. Nonetheless, the city of Gdansk holds the third largest airport, Gdansk
And
International,
also
the
the
busiest shipping port located on the Baltic Sea.
And there's one more city
into the country. Otherwise, their entire sea access is confined to the coastline. They do not own any distant islands in the Baltic. Due to the general flat landscape making much of the north and central parts, Poland is a bustling transport hub with numerous roadways that traverse every single corner into every neighboring nation. Since joining the EU, nearly 2 billion euros have been invested in Poland's rail
Poland
lines.
joined EU 2004, so
Poland doesn't have any autonomous areas, but if we had to discuss historical and cultural regions, many people may just refer to this general area as Masuria, sometimes even historical Prussia. This general area is Pomerania. That's right, same as the dog, which is where it comes from. And the coastal area is Kashubia, where the Kashubians are mostly found. There's Greater Poland, Lesser Poland, which at the very border has Ruthenia or Red Ruthenia. Parts of the south are considered Silesia, which are inhabited by peoples that have their own distinct culture apart from the Polish. It's all kind of confusing, and we'll talk more about it later. One thing you have to understand is that
the flag will be the thumbnail.
Types of administrative divisions, and much of it was shaped by war. Sometimes they had more land, other times they had less, and for 123 years they kind of disappeared altogether. Here's Prussia! Austria! Well, actually, they almost completely disappeared. I mean, Krakow was technically a free city-state for about 30 years. And keep in mind, we mentioned this in the Lithuania episode, but if you want to be incredibly technical, historically, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had some colonies. Way back yeehaw, when they thought one island in the Gambia, as well as Trinidad and Tobago, would be good overseas investments, making them the only sites that the Polish had colonized outside of Europe. Then what happened? In the end, it was too hard for them to manage, and they sold them off. The end. So anyway, here's some places of interest you guys.
Okay, let's learn about Poland.
This episode, we have quite a few UNESCO heritage sites. A lot of them are like chapels, the Holy Mountain of Kabarka, the painted village of Salipe, Chopin's Heart.
I've been to Poland before,
the
so.
Upside Down House, Kościuszko Mound, the Carrot House, the world's most narrow house. Tons of cool statues and monuments like these. The world's tallest Pope statue. Tons of World War II sites. It's kind of what they're known for. The most famous one probably being
let's not talk about that.
Too many churches like these. This one was where all the former kings were coronated. And of course, there's Warsaw St. John's Cathedral. There's a bunch of synagogues that actually survived World War II. And there's even a wooden mosque for the Tatar minority in Kruszyniani. There's so many museums and galleries. Here's a bunch of notable ones. And too many castles, but they're very proud of having the world's largest medieval castle. This would be the largest. Poland does not fall short when it comes to sights to see, or things to do, or nature to explore.
If someone wants to buy a castle, or so everyone can buy castles, islands.
Poland comes from Polani, which means people living in open fields. Poland is not all flat and not all plains. There's much more to it than you think. Poland is generally divided into 5 physical regions: the coast, the lakelands, the Polish plain, the Polish uplands, and the mountain regions. Much of Poland's coast along the Baltic Sea is straight until you hit the east and you get these interesting natural formations called spits. We've already talked about them in the Lithuania episode, but basically, spits are thin, narrow sandbanks that divide the sea from another body of water, creating saltwater lagoons, the largest one being the Bay of Puck, Szczecin, and the Vistula Lagoon.
Okay. I have not reacted to Germany because I'm not really sure if I can make. There's also Austria. I reacted to half of Europe,
say that this is both the blessing and curse of Poland, because although a third of the country is forested, this one being the largest national park, and about a third is arable, making them a powerhouse contributor to Europe's agriculture sector, it did kind of make it easy for outside forces to enter and invade, with little or no natural obstacles barricading the interior of the country. Anyway, within this plain, many rivers like the Notec, Warta, and the longest river, the Vistula, meander through
There's
the
also
valleys,
one.
passing through many
There's a
important
town
cities like
called
Warsaw.
place called Poland in one country. I forgot.
The
But starts with a
Pomeranian and the
K.
larger Masurian, which also holds
Excuse
the
me?
largest lake of the country,
Alright then.
The further south you go, the higher the elevation
Alright
gets until
then.
you hit the Poland uplands. A little further south on the border with the Czech Republic and Slovakia, you find the two main and largest mountain chains, the Sudets and the Beskids, which form the north part of the larger famous Carpathian mountain chain. Here you can also find the tallest peak, Mount Rysy, right on the border of Slovakia. Alright,
some Polish have Russian, German family. Alright then. Physical geography.
The next thing on the teleprompter. Now, as you can see by this point, Poland has a lot more than just flat plains and lakes.
Then.
They even have moving sand dunes in the north and a small desert in Boyandów, which literally translates to mistakes. Yeah, Poland, deserts. You never think those two would go together, right? Oh, and there's also a crooked forest made up of trees that bend at a 90-degree angle. Many people have theories as to how it got that way. Some say it's natural. Some say it was a dude trying to make chairs. In any case, Poland is a major producer of apples, 6th in the world, as well as being the world's largest treacle. What the heck is treacle? And amber exporter.
Amber.
No, amber is either. What is that? Petrified tree sap? It actually is. It is. Whoa. Today, though, Poland's economy is now mainly driven by the service sector and industry, with main products like machinery and cars, buses, and video games being their largest export. Anyway, Poland also never had animal species like storks, Eurasian lynx, roe deer, and they have one of the largest populations.
European bison is a national animal in Belarus. It's technically both national animal of Poland and Belarus.
In fact, a bear once served in the Polish army, and there's a statue dedicated to him. Look it up. Good old Wojtek. Anyway, time to finish up with food. Some of the top Polish dishes.
And I also forgot that the previous Susan, the previous CEO of YouTube, also had some Polish.
But the national dish being
Poland celebrates Christmas 3 times in December. December 24th, 25th, and 26th.
And bagels. Yes, bagels originated from Poland, from the Polish Jews, not New York. Oh, and of course, you cannot talk about Poland without mentioning vodka. Some say it was invented in Poland. Some say the Polish just make really good vodka.
It's a debate between Poland and Russia.
Huge section in most Polish grocery stores. I've seen this guy vodka. No, you haven't. That was not pig whiskey. We don't talk about that here. Polish people know what they like. They're a distinct people. Speaking of which, we now move on to
demographics.
Thank you, Art. Thanks. Can I do like one of those special effect outros, like, you know, Wolverine theme? Can I have the claws or something like that? Sure, yeah, go for it. Here. Okay. Is it true if I kill you, I become you? Let's find out. It does work. Now, some of you guys have told me in Poland, there's kind of like a word that sums up the Polish mindset. Załatwić. It means something along the lines of accomplishing tasks and taking care of business. Half of everybody in Europe has probably at one point at least encountered a Pole. They're everywhere, working. Polish doctors in Germany, Polish
Poland's flag is upside down in geography flag, but the upside down is Monaco and Indonesia.
Keep in mind, diaspora-wise, there are about 20 million Poles living abroad, and they are the second largest Slavic group after Russians. The country is incredibly homogenous, with about 96% of the population claiming to be Polish, which is part of the Slavic family group. This makeup is mostly due to the Nazi intervention of
Excuse me.
colonization policies of the 20th.
Excuse me, that? No, we are not going to talk about that.
The country has few minority groups, however, of the minorities, the
There could be Germans, Russians, Belarusians, and Ukrainians.
at just under
Sure.
1%. The rest is mostly made up of other Europeans like Ukrainians, Belarusians, Czechs, and non-Europeans. They use the Polish zloty as their currency, they use the type C, E, and F plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Now, of course, the main language of Poland is, of course, Polish. Lots of people say Polish is, like, really hard to learn. For one, they have 7 cases of speech and too many consonants that are smashed all together at once.
I do have a broken Polish.
Language is basically just spoken Wi-Fi passwords. Here's Conrad with a Polish tongue
Alright
twister.
then.
Chrząszcz brzmi trzcinie w Szczebrzeszynie I Szczebrzeszyn z tego
Alright then.
Sometimes even the Polish people say they have to polish up on their Polish. Otherwise, Poland is kind of a sociological anomaly. Even though they are Slavic, it's kind of like the easternmost extent of Latin influence, which explains why the majority at around 86% identify as either Catholic or, in the very least, nominally Catholic, varying degrees of devotion. Catholicism plays a huge role in Polish culture. They even have a channel dedicated to the Pope on TV. Politically, Poland is usually a more conservative nation that
there was a Polish Pope, but now currently is the first American Pope in the Vatican. Alright then.
It's like, alright, so it's settled. What do you think of this proposal for the Union, guys? I hate it. Now, Poland, you're a key player. We need you to like this. I still hate it. Come on, Poland, don't be stubborn. Oh, really, Germany? You want to come back to Poland again and tell us how to do things around here? Remember what happened last time?
Excuse me.
Are you really going to play this card again? I always will. A little exaggerated, but
then.
Push the Polish. They've gone through tons
Poland
of
also spoke. Excuse me.
Let's
Let's not talk about that.
Often in tight-knit Yiddish-speaking communities, Poland had one of the highest populations of Jews prior to World War II.
Excuse me. Then let's not show that. Well, let's talk through. Excuse me. There's also the flag. Let's not talk about that Austrian painter type of thing.
An incredibly complex history. I mean, they had a weird electoral monarchy thing. Conrad, explain.
So the royal elections of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth became a thing after the death of the last Jagiellonian on the Polish throne. And after his death, it was decided that...
Well, I'm not technically Polish because I was born in Sofia. I'm an Eastern. I'm not an Eastern. I'm actually Southern European. I'm not really Eastern European because Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus are more Eastern, and Poland is a central. Polish is a central. Alright then.
It's a weird paradox when you see them because it's like.
Alright then.
Being Polish is the worst. Seriously.
I know, right? I hate Polish sausages. They're so gross.
They are, and the government is just totally whack.
Yeah, Poland is terrible.
What did you say?
Excuse me.
You're not from here.
Yeah. Well, that took a little longer than expected.
Alright,
so
then.
Here's Hannah with culture stuff.
Good to be back. Polish people have gone
Alright,
through
then.
a lot. They were pretty much fought for and invaded over 40 times for about 400 years.
40 times, that's a lot. That's so dark and sensitive topic.
For one, in Poland, it is actually just as popular, if not maybe even more, to celebrate one's name day as well as your birthday. Poland has quite a high level of tertiary educated individuals, with about 80% of the young adult population having enrolled in university. Also, side note, the 35% of Polish people living abroad are referred to as Polonia. There's a contest where we figure out who is the strongest man in the world, and Poland has won the most of those contests. Then we have the Silesian and Kashubian minorities. Let's let Conrad explain this one because, you know, it's a little complex.
The Silesians, who live for the most part today in Upper Silesia,
And this is closer to Czech Republic, but it's still called Poland.
Dialect of Polish. Internationally, though, it's considered not as a nation or people, though some within the region consider themselves as a nation, which the Kashubians are, and they are considered as a West Slavic people separate from the Polish people. They are loyal towards Poland, but they have their own recognized minority status, they have their own traditions, they have their own cuisine, and they have their own
Alright,
language. There are even bilingual signs, which Paul will definitely put in now.
Thank you, Conrad. They've also racked up quite a few Nobel Peace Prizes at 17. They are frontrunners of innovations and inventions like kerosene and the kerosene lamp, the oil well, the bulletproof vest, and the modern drug test. A lot of festivals can be found year-round throughout the country and in different regions. Popular ones include All Saints' Day, May Day, the La Cognac Festival in Krakow, and during Christmas you might see the creepy Turon everywhere. To expound a bit more on Polish music and art,
I'm not sure who's that. On Christmas in Austria, there's Krampus. Alright then.
Music in Poland goes way back to its ancient Slavic roots. Instruments typically used include things like the wood horn, the hurdy-gurdy, horse hair drum, the pedal accordion, and the suka.
What you call me?
He spent most of his time in France. Chopin was born in Poland. His homeland was always one of the central themes to his
Russians? Yeah, let's not talk about that word. Because I'm aware of it, and I know this word because it's the only Russian word I fully know. Because
I know that there's this guitar player named Jakub Zychecki, and he is amazing.
Thank you, Keith. And now the most complicated part, history. The quickest way I can condense it. Slavic tribes and states in the Vistula Basin, Kast Dynasty, Greater Poland, Christianity and tribal unification, Pomerania is annexed. This dude becomes the first king, feudal disintegration, Mongols invade, Czechs invade, Teutonic Knights invade, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Swedes invade, Prussians invade, end of the Commonwealth, Constitution written, Napoleonic Wars, Kingdom of Poland, Krakow, Russian partitions,
yeah. Let's not talk about where Germany. Excuse me then.
We got a Pope and a Nobel Peace Prize, first fully free elections, they joined NATO and the EU, and here we are today.
Alright then.
You guys, the Polish geography suggested we mention in this episode include all those dukes and kings. Pretty much any hero that fought with the wings of stars. Copernicus, although he was technically German. Marie Curie was actually Polish. Mikołaj Rai, Pope John Paul II. All these athletes, these directors, all these artists and musicians.
And even Polish actors too.
Was a real guy. These
Excuse
American revolutionaries. And speaking of Americans, John Krasinski, Kristen Bell, Steve Carell, and Roman Polanski are also part Polish. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, and finally,
excuse me, alright then.
And there's a lot more I could have mentioned, but that would take way too
long. I was sugar then. Alright then, excuse me for that. I had to I didn't censor. I'm glad I censored quickly. Well, because I don't want to show anything related to Germany from 1933. Alright then.
The Czechs and Slovaks are generally considered close West Slavic brothers. They've had very few wars and conflicts with them. They understand their languages, kind of.
They're similar.
Others sounds funny when they talk. For Russians, it's more of like a people versus government thing. As people, Poles and Russians get along quite well on a human level. It's just the governments that often disagree and clash. Poland for a while was under the Iron Curtain and Warsaw Pact.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
There is always kind of like this universal Slavic understanding, which is why Ukraine comes in as a pretty close friend. Ukrainians love to come to
Poland. Let's not talk about that situation happening in Poland.
Communist struggle alliance, although they still kind of don't like how Ukrainians honor the UPA, which is a whole other story. Poland is kind of like Germany's biggest regret that they have to constantly be.
It's like friend and me. They are
neighbors, but they are the largest economic partner for them as well. Germany does have many bilateral relations with Poland. It's the 21st century.
Excuse me, yeah.
And the future looks bright.
I know. I'm not laughing.
It's like the divorced wife that they remember having some of the best years of their history with. Today, when a Pole meets a Lithuanian, they just kind of nod and smile, understanding everything the other.
Alright then. We learn about friends.
However, every Pole has told me the same thing. Hungary. Historically,
Hungary, yeah.
Monarchs, heroes, they've always helped each other in times of
yeah, that's what I use Poland and Hungary together on.
In Polish, two brothers, both to the saber and the bottle. In conclusion, let's get this
Alright then.
Conrad, what do you have to say?
Poland is a country that has a lot to offer, both geographically and
alright then.
been through pretty much everything.
Yeah.
It's been an empire, it's been completely erased from the map, and today Poland is a thriving country. I'm sure that the role of Poland on the European scene will only grow.
Thank you, Conrad, and thank you, Art, for being in this episode. Stay tuned. Portugal is coming up.
Goodbye. Yeah, I'm doing tomorrow, Portugal.